Hi everyone, it's me, Kat Muir from Cheap and Easy Eats, and today we're going to be making a pizza out of cauliflower. Hey everyone, so we're going to make a pizza out of cauliflower and it's so exciting, and I absolutely love cauliflower crust pizza, and it's such an easy thing to do, and once I show you how to do this I can guarantee you'll definitely be doing this again. So what we need today is we need a cauliflower, we need some parmesan, we need an egg, and we need, well, I'm going to use homemade tomato sauce, but you can use any kind of tomato sauce you want for the top, and some mozzarella. We're just going to do a regular cheese pizza, but you can put any toppings on you want. We're also going to need salt and pepper, and I'm going to use a mix of paprika and smoked paprika because that goes so well with cauliflower. So to get started, what we're going to do is, I've washed the cauliflower already and I'm going to chop it up. Now, you really ideally need a food processor for this. If you don't have one, then either chop your cauliflower up into really tiny pieces, or you can grate it with a box cheese grater, and that'll do the same thing. I'm just going to use a processor because it makes it really fast, but it's so easy to do and it tastes amazing. So I'm going to cut my cauliflower into bits and pieces. So all I've done is I've washed it and I've taken off the outside leaves. And all I'm going to do is just cut it into florets. Now, a lot of times people don't like a cauliflower crust because it's a bit too wet. And when I first started making them, all the recipes that I found were putting mozzarella in the base. And in actual fact, mozzarella is not the best one for the base. So I changed it around and I thought, well, you know, I'm going to use a harder cheese. So I'm going to use parmesan in my base. I'm not going to use the inside of the cauliflower. That little bit will go in my compost heap, but you know, you can cut it down pretty far. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to chop it into little pieces like that size, and I'm not going to do too many at a time because it doesn't process them all. Any little bad bits like that, just cut off. And I mean, I love cauliflower anyway, but it doesn't really taste so much like cauliflower at the end. It just tastes really yummy. You just want to blend it down, process it down until it's like quite fine, and then stick it in a bowl. So I'm probably only going to put about that much, like maybe a third of what my processor can take, and just do it a couple of times. So you can see it's kind of mushy. That's how we want it. I'm going to put it into a glass Pyrex bowl because I'm going to cook it in the microwave. I'm just going to get most of this out. You can see it's quite fine and crumbly, and that's really what you're wanting. So, you know, you can grate it, you can chop it up really small, but if you can use the food processor, then that's fantastic. On we go again. And cauliflower is an excellent source of so many minerals and vitamins. I mean, really, like I was saying before in other videos, you want to get as much fruit and veg in a day that you can eat in all sorts of sneaky ways. And kids love this stuff too. It's great if you can get them into veggies. I mean, if you give kids a straightforward vegetable that's been steamed and it's maybe a bit overcooked, they're not going to want to eat it. You know, there's nothing really enjoyable in that. You have to put some flavours on it and things. And with this, they're getting tomato and they're getting some cheese, they're getting the goodness of an egg. There's all sorts of bits and pieces in it that really make it something very tasty indeed. So this is my whole cauliflower. You can see the texture is very fine. You know, it's like breadcrumbs really, and that's what you're looking for. So all I'm going to do now is cover it with cling film. I'm going to pierce the cling film so that it lets some of the steam escape, and I'm going to cook it on full power. Now my microwave, the full power for it is 800. So if you've got one that's higher power than that, then you might want to reduce your time, but I'm going to cook it for 8 minutes in total. I'm going to stop after 5 minutes and I'm going to give it a shake just to kind of stir everything up so that it's not all getting cooked, because the microwaves can, cook it kind of weird sometimes. So I'm going to stop it after 5 minutes, give it a shake, and then I'll give it another 3 minutes. My addition skills have obviously need a bit of work. So cover it with cling film. Stab it a couple of times. And then I'm going to put it in the microwave. So I'm going to give it 5 minutes and I'll bring it out and I'll let you see what it's like and show you just how to give it a wee shake up, and then I'll put it back in again. So it's been 5 minutes and this is basically what it looks like. So you can see all the steam building up on the cling film, and it's very, very hot to touch. So all I like to do is just give it a little shake about, move it around. You can see it all kind of jumping about. I don't want to take the cling film off because I don't want to let the steam out just now. I want to use that to cook. So I just kind of do that, and it just moves it around so that everything kind of goes for an even cook. So I'm going to put it back in again for 3 minutes, and then I'll take the cling film off and I'll just check it to see if it's cooked properly enough. If it isn't, I'll give it another minute. If it is, then we'll just get going. So I'll see you in 3 minutes. So it's had 8 minutes altogether, and I'm just going to find an edge because the bowl's very, very hot. You have to be very careful so that you don't burn yourself or anything like that. And I'm just going to find an edge to pull the cling film up from. Now, it should be cooked enough, but I'm just going to see. Oh yeah, that's absolutely perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for. It's mashable like a mashed potato at this point in time. So I'm just going to get that cling film off. Just be careful with your hands, burny, burny. Now, it's so hot, don't be tempted to taste it just now because you burn yourself. All I'm going to do is put in some pepper. Some salt, nice pink salt because it has 22 minerals. I'm going to put in some regular paprika and some smoked paprika. So paprika is one of these things, it's so nice on cauliflower. You don't have to be shy with it. Get a decent amount on. Again, the paprika and smoked paprika, that's just down to your own choice, personal preference. I just think it goes really, really well with cauliflower. It makes it really super tasty. It smells so nice. And this is basically cauliflower rice as well. I was just saying that to my daughter while this was cooking. If you want to use cauliflower rice for curries or chilies or anything like that, this is basically what you would do and how you would cook it. And then you just put a dollop of that on and then put all your stuff on. And you can't really taste it as cauliflower because the richness of the other sauces, of the things you're going to put on, will have all that flavour. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grate my cheese. So I've got 70 grams of parmesan, hard parmesan. And the reason that I use this, like I say, when I first started experimenting, all the recipes I found said mozzarella. But mozzarella is a very sort of elasticy and a very sort of creamy kind of cheese. And I felt that it just made it a very kind of wet, soggy after effect. And actually when I looked up, everyone else was saying the same kind of thing. And I thought, well, I'm going to try it with something else. And again, cheddar's not ideal because it's got the same kind of thing going on. It's got that same sort of creamy elasticiness, and there's a lot more fat in that. So I messed about and I got some parmesan and I thought, oh, I've got that, I'll just put that in. And it actually makes it a really, really good base. So I use that. Now, again, you might have seen pizza recipes for cauliflower crust where, you know, you're putting it in a tea towel and you're taking off all the excess moisture. You don't need to do any of that. I mean, here in my house, I like things that are simple and easy and least work amount as possible. And this is. So I'm just going to mix that in, and it's going to melt straight away because of the heat. And then I'm going to crack my egg. You need to mix the egg in very quickly because it's so hot, you don't want it to just cook in the one spot. So I'm just going to mash it round. And you can always crack your egg into a plate or a cup or a bowl, just in case you've got any eggshell in it, and then put it in. And now that I've put the egg in, that's really bringing it all together. Now at this point it still feels like mashed potato, it's quite mushy. So now all I'm going to do is my spatula from earlier, which still had a little bit of the cauliflower on it. I'm just going to use that. And I'm going to put it on a baking sheet. So I've got a baking sheet and I've got some baking paper, and all I'm going to do is put it on. So I had friends that came in to see us the other week that we've not seen for a while. My friend Tracy, she doesn't eat flour. I made pizza for Steve, her husband, and Tracy doesn't eat that. And I thought, oh, I've got cauliflower in the fridge. I can make her a cauliflower pizza. So, you know, it didn't take very long at all, and I just mixed it up and I put it out, and she was like, oh, that's really tasty. And then her husband Steve was like, oh, give me a bit of that, and he was eating it as well, and there was none left. There was none of it left, and it's really tasty, really delicious. So you can see as I'm putting it out, it's not very wet. It's just like a really nice consistency. You can have a little taste if you're careful. The heat of the cauliflower will have killed off anything. You know, the eggs pretty much cooked into it with the heat. But you can have a little taste if you want to see if it needs any more salt or pepper or paprika, and then you can just sprinkle it over if you need to. I might just have a little quick taste of it just now, just see. Oh, that's so tasty. Even if you don't want to make it into pizza, you could just eat it like this. It's so delicious. A really nice snack. So I bought a sort of, it was called a large cauliflower, and I could probably make a slightly thinner base and get 1.5 pizzas out of it, but you know, I like quite a nice base. If you want to make it smaller, then I would say just use 1 egg. Don't go down the way on the egg because you don't really notice it anyway. And I would just use the same amount of parmesan. There's not like an awful lot of difference between the small cauliflowers and the large cauliflowers. So I'm going to put my oven to 200 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to put the pizza base in it for 20 minutes, and then I'll check it. And if it needs longer, I can give it another 10 minutes, but it's only going to need about half an hour at most. Look how lovely that looks anyway. So I'm going to put that in my oven. I'll give it 20 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius, and then we'll check it. And then once that's ready, I'm going to put on my toppings. Now, I'm using homemade tomato sauce, and there's a link, so you can click on the link and you can see how to make that if you want to, and you could make it just now while this is cooking. And if not, you can use a jar of sauce. I mean, really anything you want, or you can just bake it and eat it the way it is. It's quite nice to do that too. But I'm going to put that in the oven, and then I'll just top it off after that. I'll show you what to do. So I'll see you back in 20 minutes. So it's been about 25 minutes, just purely because I forgot to set the timer. And I looked and I was like, oh, 25 minutes. But you can see it's moved away from the edges, and it's actually, although it's hot, it's quite solid now to touch. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my toppings on it, and then I'm going to put it back in the oven for about another 18 minutes. So I've got homemade tomato sauce. Again, you can click on the link if you want to make it. I'm going to spread this on. You can put any toppings on that you want. I'm just going to make it plain with cheese and tomato sauce, but you can put on chicken or ham or vegan pepperoni on it if you want to. That's quite nice as well. Just anything, whatever you like on a pizza. Ham and pineapple, anything you like. Just going to spread this over a little bit more. And I always like to take everything up to the edges. It's a really good thing to do with your kids too, and get them used to vegetables. So all I'm going to do now is put it back in the oven at 200 for 18 minutes, and then we'll come in and see what's there. It's so exciting because we're all hungry now. So we're back. The pizza's been in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes, and I'm just going to cut it now and let you see, and I'll just leave you with this little gem. If a cauliflower can become a pizza, you, my friend, can do anything. I really like that quote. So I'm just going to cut this. My squeaky pizza cutter, which is behaving a little bit better. That's maybe not the best way to cut it. There we go. Get it into some kind of triangular shape. I'm going to just rip a little bit of this off. It's just so delicious and tasty. And actually you can see how well it holds its form and shape. Oh, that is so delicious. I cannot even begin to describe how tasty this is, but I mean, I know it's not a bread-based pizza, but it really tastes so good. It doesn't have well, I don't think it has a heavy cauliflower flavour or anything like that, but it's just so delicious and so tasty. And if you serve that up to people, you know, and get their opinion from it, but, you know, they'll probably say, oh, is that cauliflower crust? It's just so tasty. I would definitely encourage you to make this. It doesn't take very long to do. It's fairly simple and easy, and all the best. And I'm going to eat this before anybody else finds out that it's cooked yet. All right, I'm Kat Muir, Cheap and Easy Eats. Take care. Bye.